Hi, here we will discuss about machine learning fundamentals. First, we will discuss about the difference between artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and data science. The artificial intelligence defined as the system which will learn from the environment and making the decision from its past experience. And the machine learning is subset of artificial intelligence which is using data the data is collected from the past and which will predict the future. So here the machine learning is taking different kinds of data like text data, image, audio, and video. And deep learning is the subset of machine learning which is especially developed for processing the video and images and also audio. The data science is the technology which is using all three technologies to make the decisions for business purpose. What is the learning and human learning? The learning is defined as model that is representing a pattern within collection of observations. Observations are sensed from the environment. Model means a person or person or software. Here we are dealing with human learning. The model represents the person, human. The human is the model. He is observing the environment. From that observations, human will identify the patterns. For example, from this slide, the person is identifying the each and every character, then he is grouping these characters to form a word. Then he is grouping all words in the sentence to make a meaningful statement. So the model person is observing this each and every character from the statement and identifying the word, then observing all the words from the sentence, then grouping, that means identifying the pattern of the words in the statement, then finding the meaning. So this is one of the example for learning can be done only with a feasible model. If the model is not exist, then learning is also not possible. Human learning is defined as observe something from an environment. The human is having different organs. sensing organs, eyes, nose, ear. So from the sensing organs, he is observing the environment. From the observations, he can recognize a pattern and build a model. Build a model, that means theory from the observations to explain this pattern. After learning, based on the learned knowledge, the model can be tested to identify the new observations. To identify the new observations. For example, in school days, we learned to identify the characters, alphabets, and we learned to form a words from the group of characters, and also we learned to form a sentence by using the group of words. So based upon the past knowledge, here we are testing, now we are identifying new concept, new words which are giving as a input to our mind through our eyes. Okay, any model or learning does not provide accurate or absolute value. Accurate value cannot provide by any model. 100% accuracy value cannot get from any model. There is the possibility of error, probability of error. So the learning can provide only the approximation of observed reality. So what to do, right? So you see, when we are in school days, when in the LKG, we tried to learn the alphabets, but when we were learning the alphabets, we have done so many mistakes. When we are writing the A, there is the possibility of getting error. Then slightly our teachers trained us to write the A again and again, repeatedly given training. So finally we learned, human learned to write the alphabet in right manner. So like that, here the model are learning to be upgraded, to be upgraded if new observations regarding the phenomena, if there is any error in the results, the model has to be upgraded until getting the improvement, I mean expected result. So this is called human learning. Here the model is human. Some example: motion of physical bodies, any physical body, human or any moving objects, vehicles also. So which is interpreted the physical body's movement simply by explaining the forces which is acting on the physical body. Movement of the physical body is explained by applying the force which is acting on the physical bodies. So regarding this concept, Newton uncovered the pattern or relationship between the forces which is affecting a body and its movement. So here the movement of the body is recognized by the Newton rule, by which the movement is affected due to force which is occurred in response to the forces and which is explained in the form of Newton laws. Newton laws, which is one of the human learning example. Then, what is the background of machine learning? Here, the machines, computers, microcontrollers, laptops, any robots, which are all called machine, that machines are mimicking the process of human learning. Whatever human has done or doing, that is mimicking by the machines. Machines are here fed with observations from the environment. That observations called data. Observations are called data. So all the machines are given with data as input. In background of machine learning, the learning algorithm is trying to find out any pattern, any kind of pattern from the observations, from the observations, which best fits the observations. The algorithm is trying to finding the pattern from the data, and also that algorithm should best fit, that means it should provide good result based upon the given input data. So based on this background, the machine learning definition is defined as, which is providing a model, that model with ability to automatically learn the environment, think based upon the data which is received from the environment, then it will provide the result. That result will be improved from its experience without explicit programming, without explicit programming. So the machine learning is the software model which is automatically learn the environment. From that learning, it is thinking what to do next, and if the results are not good, it will improve its result from its experience without explicit programming. So here, what is the traditional programming? The traditional programming what we are using to do in Java, Python, C++, we will give the input data, and also we will write the program in compiler. Then that compiler will execute the program and get the input and produce the output. This is what we are doing and we have done in Java, Python programming languages. But in machine learning, we will have input data and output data in our hand, that will be given to the computer. That computer already will have a machine learning algorithms. So that machine learning algorithms will get input data and output data. These algorithms will write a program based upon the input and output data. In traditional programming, software engineer has written the program, but here the program is writing by computer. The computer is loaded with machine learning algorithms, and that algorithms are getting input data and output data. Based on this, which is writing the program. So this is the major difference between traditional programming and machine learning. Some of the applications of machine learning here: the learning associations. Association in the sense relationship. There is one problem, retail market basket analysis. Here the task is finding the potential customer using association between products bought by customers in past. Performance is the percentage of customers identified for cross selling. For example, here what is the experience, past experience? past history. If people who bought the product X typically also bought product Y, and if there is a customer who buys X product and does not buy Y product, he or she is potential customer. He or she is potential customer. For example, when the we are entering into the supermarket, if the data in the sense products, we are having two shelves, two racks. Okay, with this rack may have milk powder, right? Then beside rack will have bread. Okay, so whenever, and also coffee powder. Okay, here maybe coffee powder, tea powder. So here whenever the customer is buying the milk, there is the more possibility to buy the bread. Whenever customer is buying the milk, there is possibility of getting coffee powder and tea powder. So this is the association. When the customer is buying the product X, which is associated with the product Y and product Z. Okay, so this is the thing. If that products are arranged beside to each other, then salesman, the supermarket will get more sales. So this is called learning association. How can we do this? Based upon the past sales billing. In the billing, they will have the data how many times the same customer bought milk and bread together, milk and coffee powder together. So based upon that data, they will make the sales prediction to arrange the products near to each other to improve the sales. Second one, classification. Here so many classification applications are there: handwriting recognition, object recognition in the image, uh, and animal recognition classification. So many recognition approaches are there. The task is recognizing and classifying handwritten words with images. Performance is how many words correctly classified. And experience is we will give the input from the database as large amount of handwritten words. Then third one, reinforcement learning, which is coming in the application of robot driving. So here the task is driving on public four-lane highways using vision sensors. So here the automatic driving car, driverless car, driverless car. So in the four-lane highways, the car is moving perfectly without any accidents or any damage, without any damage. So here the performance is how much distance traveled before came to the destination, before came to the destination. That is the thing. Experience is a sequence of images and steering commands recorded while observing a human driver. That the human driver data which is already recorded, which is given as a input to the automatic driverless car. So based upon that data which is trained, and then which is tested without human intervene. So these are all some of the applications of machine learning. There is different types of learning algorithms. One is supervised learning, which is another name inductive learning. In the supervised learning, we will give the input data with desired output labeled data. The decision is made by using the given input data to the model. Unsupervised learning, the training input data does not include output labeled data. That is the only difference. Here the input is having labeled data, here input does not have labeled data. Then semi supervised learning, in the sense the combination of labeled and unlabeled data will be given to the semi supervised learning. Reinforcement learning, here rewards will be earned from sequence of actions. So the decisions made sequentially. The output is depends on the state of the current state input, and the output is produced by the current state. This output will be given as a input to the next state. So from each state, for example, the driverless car which is moving, okay, which is moving, assume it is moving foot by foot, 1 foot, again second foot, then otherwise 1 meter, second meter, third meter, like that we can assume. So here if it moves 1 meter, it will observe the environment, then it gets the input about environment data. This input this input is given to the meter as second movement, okay, second meter movement. So now output is this location, output is moved into the next location. The next location data, again it is observed, that next location data is given as a input to the third location. So like that, the current output is defined by the previous input. The current output is given as a input to the next state. So that is the process of reinforcement learning. Here the supervised learning definition is given. The model means software. Model is learning from the labeled data. So here this is the input data. Here the input data is having number of samples, and here each column is called feature, 4 features. This is labeled data, output labeled data or target data. So the supervised learning model needs input with labeled data. The decision is made by training the model by using training labeled data. Right? So based upon this input data, decision will be made by the model during training. So here the classification is given, the features, okay, the features are given here. This is one class and this is second class, so which is separated by the line. That line is called decision boundary. Some of the algorithms are given: svm, neural network, decision trees, knn, naive bayes. These are all supervised algorithms. Then unsupervised learning. So in unsupervised learning, in the sense the unlabeled data will be given as a input. Unlabeled means this is unlabeled data. You look at here, the samples are given, features are there, there is no labeled data. You look at here, no labeled data, no output labeled data, right? So if it is unsupervised learning, then output labeled data will not be given as a input to the model. So that is the difference. Okay, so how it will then classify the data based upon the similarity. Based upon the similarity, the unlabeled data is given to the model. So model is available in the computer, so which is finding the similarity color. You look at that, all blue colors are separated, red colors are separated, and yellow colors are separated. Here the pattern is color. Pattern is recognized, pattern is color. Based upon the color, which is recognizing the similarity, similar patterns, similar patterns. Okay, so here you look at that, based upon the similar patterns, the data is grouped, different grouped. Okay, so group number 1, group number 2, right? So this is the unsupervised learning. Here different algorithms are there: k-means clustering, Gaussian mixers, hierarchical clustering, spectral clustering, etc. Then semi-supervised learning. Semi-supervised learning, you look at here the data, half of, I mean, some portion of the data with labels, some portion of the data without labels, without labels. So it is combination of labeled data and unlabeled data. That means labeled data is using by the supervised learning, unlabeled data is using by the unsupervised learning. So semi supervised learning means which is combination of both supervised learning and unsupervised learning. So the semi supervised learning is taking the input or as input from the labeled and unlabeled data, then which is identifying the patterns based upon similarity and labeled data. So this is about semi supervised learning. So here we have discussed about the basics of machine learning and human learning, difference between the human learning and the machine learning, and different machine learning algorithms. Thank you.